Tom, thanks for coming in today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, am I? Thanks for seeing me so
Yeah,
so
that's
quickly.
okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. As soon as I got your call, I was like, right, quick, smart, let's get you
Yeah,
in here.
I'm really worried right now and
Okay.
really quite distressed
Okay.
about what I came home to the other day.
Okay. Before we get into that,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through the confidentiality and privacy agreement.
Yep.
So basically, whatever we talk about here,
Yep.
stays between you and I. I'm not
Mhm.
going to go and tell anybody else unless there is an immediate danger to you or to somebody else. We don't get involved unless it gets to that point. So you don't need to worry about anything like that. Whatever we talk about just stays between us. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
So I'll just get you to sign down the bottom here for me, and then we will move on. Okay. What's been happening?
Okay, so I know you've met Jenny and Peter before.
Yep.
And so I guess what's probably caused the current situation is I've started a new job
Okay.
and I'm working a lot longer hours
Mhm.
and some Saturdays.
Yep.
Which has been really rough on Jenny, like
Okay.
because before I'd get home, 4 o'clock, and I could take some of the burden of Peter
Yep.
for the evening, but I'm working till 7 every
Mhm.
night, and some Saturdays, I
Okay.
work quite late on Saturdays too.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know you've met Jenny, and I feel like she's never really coped well since Peter's accident
Okay.
and being his carer. Like I don't think she's ever really taken to the role. She's always been very stressed
Okay.
and very overwhelmed, and I do the best I can to
Yeah.
try and help her, but it just never seems like it's enough.
Right. Okay.
But with the longer hours, it's just escalated.
Okay.
Like she's just so angry and aggressive all the time, throwing plates. She just can't be reasoned with. She just gets so angry.
Okay. So it sounds like she's gotten to the point where she's not able to control her emotions anymore.
Yeah.
Just
It's
blowing
just
her
right
top.
there on the surface all the time.
Okay.
We'll just be having a normal conversation, and suddenly she's angry. And
Okay.
I've not done anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it really gets aimed at me.
Okay.
But the reason I contacted you
Mhm.
was the other day. I was working Saturday,
Mhm.
and I got home from work, and I went into Peter's bedroom because I wasn't sure where he was.
Mhm.
And he was tied to the bed, and I noticed that he had bruises and welts all over his back.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
Yeah, he had bruises and welts
Okay.
all over his back, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Was Jenny home?
Yeah,
point?
yeah, she's always home with Peter.
Okay.
I don't know where she was, but yeah, I've just found Peter like that. I untied him.
Yeah. He would have
He
been
was
quite
crying.
distressed. Yeah.
He was really
Yeah, that's awful.
really distressed, and I was distressed.
Yeah.
And I've had a few days to think it over, but I then contacted you because I've tried talking to her, but all I get is abuse.
Okay. So have you spoken to her about this since it happened?
I brought it up with her, and she was just really dismissive. She seemed to not think that anything was wrong.
Okay.
That I was overreacting to him being tied to the bed.
Okay. So she sort of just brushed it off and went about her day.
Yeah. She didn't want to engage with the conversation at all, and I mean, if she won't talk to me about it,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sort of at my wit's end. I don't know what to do about it.
Okay. Have you ever seen any bruises on Peter before? Any marks on him? Has there been any evidence of this? Because what this is domestic family violence. You know, it's a family member abusing another family member.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat around the bush with that. That's exactly what it is. You know, I'm just trying to gauge whether you've noticed anything like this has happened before, if it's been something that she's been doing regularly, if you've noticed, or if it's something that has only newly started.
So, since I started working longer hours, I did notice a few bruises here or there, but
Okay.
I really thought, so Peter's wobbly on his feet.
Yeah.
And he does fall down.
Okay, so you thought maybe he'd knocked himself. Or
Yeah,
something.
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
It wasn't anything overt.
Yeah.
Though I will say, Peter does tell me that he's frightened of Jenny.
Okay.
So, and you know, I've asked him, why are you frightened of Mum? And he doesn't really, he's not really able to articulate what that is, but he has communicated to me that he is frightened of her. And this is recently that he's come to me with this.
Okay,
yeah.
how recent? Days, weeks?
Within the last 2 weeks,
Okay,
he
so
told
really
me he was
recent.
frightened. But again, I wasn't really sure
Yeah.
until this past weekend,
Okay.
when I saw the bruises, that look, they couldn't have been from just falling down.
No.
It was too extreme for that.
Okay. I want to talk to you about I'm not going to force you into making any decisions right now. You know, this is a very stressful time, but I also need to stress to you that this is not something that you can sit on. This is something that needs to be addressed, but you have to be the one to initiate it. I can't fix the problem for you. You know, as your counsellor, I can be here to support you and to provide you with, you know, the education and the relevant information, and to be able to refer you onto other people if you need it, but I can't be the one to fix this for you. So I want to talk to you about, have you heard of a domestic violence order before?
No, not really, no.
Okay, so a lot of the time in domestic violence situations, whether it's between a man and his wife, whether it's, you know, a parent and their children, whatever it may be, the first step really is getting what's called a domestic violence order. So basically a domestic violence order, I'll give you this information here.
Yeah.
Basically what it is, it's basically a warning. So you go down to the police station, you sit down, you come up with things that you're comfortable with, whether the other person is allowed to call you or not, at what times they're allowed to call you or not, whether they can be within a certain distance of you or of Peter, whether they are obligated to go and find somewhere else to live, because the priority right now at this moment, from the things that you've told me, is the safety of both you and Peter. To me, that's the main priority.
Yeah.
You know, does that sound?
Yeah, Peter's definitely my
You know,
number one priority right now.
Having worked with Peter, and you know, he's very sweet, and you know, he doesn't have the ability to defend himself when it comes to physical violence like that.
No.
So I feel like we really need to work together to be able to get you two in a position where Jenny can no longer have physical contact with both of you. But again, you need to be the one to make that decision. But getting back to the domestic violence order. So
Yes.
basically what you do, you go down to the police station, you sit down, they will explain everything to you, and you can tailor the domestic violence order to what suits you.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's not a one size fits all thing here, because every case is different.
Yeah.
I'll give you that information to take home, or if you feel more comfortable with me emailing it to you, I can do that as well, because if she sees this, it might provoke her.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't come into my work van, so
Okay.
I'll keep
Yep.
that in the
Perfect.
glove box, and yeah,
Perfect.
that should be fine.
Okay. Now, like I said, you don't have to make a decision on that right away, but I feel for your situation, it's something that will be very, very helpful. Now, I also feel like this is more for you personally. How would you feel about coming back and having some more counselling sessions? Whether it's with me or whether it's with somebody else, it's completely your choice. Just because, you know, from the things that you've said, Jenny hasn't, it sounds like Jenny hasn't exactly been communicating with you. It sounds like and from what I've seen, that she's the one that's sort of run the household. You know, it's you do this, you do this, you do this.
Yeah.
Now, if a domestic violence order is to happen, she might not be there anymore, which, you know, like you said, you've just started a new job. That adds another layer of stress on top of what you're already going through.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to know that we have this support here for you if you decide that you need it. If you are unsure, we don't have to make any appointments now. We can figure it out down the track. Just give us a call. I will make the room for you. Okay. Another thing is that if you decide that you are having trouble with trying to work around everything, caring for Peter, working at the same time, what we can do is if you decide to do so, we can send someone around to come and help care for Peter during the days or when you feel like you need some more help with him. That way you'll have somebody there that you already know. You know that Peter knows them and feels comfortable with them, and you're not going to be at work stressing about what's happening at home.
Yeah.
So I'll give you, I mean, you've already got our information, but I'll send you home with all of the rest of that information as well, just so you've got some options, because at the moment I feel like maybe you're feeling a little bit lost with where to go next.
Yeah. That's why I reached out to you, because I can't do anything on my own.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that Peter and I need some help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. You know, we will try to do everything that we can to support you, and if it gets to a point where we feel like we have reached the end point of how far we can support you, then we can go on to refer you to some other services that can go further in depth if you need it. So there's lots of options here. I don't want you to feel like this is the end all and be all. There's lots of options that we've got here that we can help you with. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll send you home with that information. Give a few days, think it over. Whatever you decide to do, if you decide to go ahead with this, give me a call and I will get you in contact with one of the officers down at the police station. We can set up a meeting and we can start going down the road of those things. The same with the counselling sessions.
Yep.
Just give me a call. I will make the room for you.
Okay.
We will sort that out.
Alright.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Thanks
That's
for seeing
okay.
me at such short notice.
Not a problem, not a
This has
problem.
been really, really helpful. Thank you.
Very good.